Everyone has moments of self-doubt, where you doubt whether you are doing it right. However, if you have this often, it can cause problems with making positive choices in your everyday life, having good, healthy relationships, dealing with difficult situations, and most importantly, being your own person. Growing self-doubt leads to even more negative thoughts, where you tell yourself that you are worth less. As a result, psychological issues can arise, such as anxiety, tension, and depression. And because every change starts with understanding and insight, I am going to explain in this video how low self-esteem arises and is maintained. If you want to learn more about how to manage your inner critic and to boost your self-esteem, watch my next videos. I am a healthcare psychologist and therapist, and I make videos on psychology and mental health topics. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new content I publish every week. Self-esteem means literally a failure of yourself. You define who you are. If you constantly judge yourself negatively, you develop low self-esteem. Low self-esteem makes you feel less worthy than the people around you, which leads to feelings of inferiority. A low self-esteem is, therefore, the result of a negative view of yourself. As a result, because you disapprove or reject yourself, you get the idea that others will also disapprove or reject you. Negative thoughts about yourself lead to negative feelings and also negative beliefs like others are disapproving me. This makes you interpret reactions of other people negatively, which reinforces feelings of inferiority again. This reinforces negative feelings and increases negative thoughts about yourself, and it goes around and around. So a negative circle arises. By trying to protect yourself from negative feelings, as a result, you will be less likely to stand up for yourself, avoiding people or negative feelings. Or you can respond by reacting very extroverted, overpowering, or playing a clown. Thinking negatively about yourself also makes you extra vulnerable to criticism. You can see this criticism as confirmation of your negative self-image. Thus, the problem of low self-esteem starts with what you think about yourself. Most of the time, you are not aware of your negative thoughts. They're so-called automatic thoughts. As a result, you often only notice the feeling. It's important to learn to recognize your negative thoughts so you can change them and in this way improve your feelings about yourself. There is a difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Self-confidence is thinking that you can reasonably accomplish a task. You usually base this self-confidence on positive experiences from the past. Self-esteem is the capacity to value and respect yourself, regardless of whether or not you are good at something. There is also a difference between conditional self-esteem and unconditional self-esteem. With conditional beliefs about your self-esteem, you must meet first certain conditions before you can appreciate yourself. Your worth is determined by the degree to which you are appreciated by others. Self-esteem is often linked to external factors like performance, of appearance, and not internal factors. It's important that you continue to appreciate and accept yourself and that you learn to trust your own capabilities. The point is that you are always there for yourself, that you appreciate yourself even when things are going less well for you. People who get their self-esteem from within themselves are no longer dependent on the opinion of others. It's important to learn to focus on your strengths and positive qualities. The more you focus on your positive qualities, the more you will see it in a positive way, willing to develop. The more you focus on your negative sides, the more you will see it in a negative way and you will tend to give up. That is why it is so extremely important to see and appreciate your strength and to learn to accept your weaknesses. This is unconditional self-esteem. When it comes to having an active inner critic, or in other words, a frequent negative self-talk, it's important to know you are not alone. So, what is the inner critic? In a nutshell, it is the voice in our head that expresses self-doubt. The inner critic is the disapproving inner voice that attacks and condemns you. He or she constantly criticizes who you are and what you do. This is what an inner critic often says to you. The inner critic undermines your self-esteem, often without you being aware of it. It has become part of your thinking pattern without you thinking about whether it's correct or not. You assume that it's true. However, thoughts are not facts. The inner critic can make you always feel inferior compared to others. He sets perfectionist demands, punishes the smallest mistake, does not look at positive things, and only sees the mistakes. He is good at all or nothing thinking and mind reading. It means he convinces you that you know what someone else is thinking. The inner critic often arises in early childhood, from the first parenting experiences. Predisposition plays some role too. Some people are more sensitive to it than others. There are 8 parenting styles or childhood experiences that can contribute to the development of the inner critic. First is the extent to which personal wishes, needs, and choices have been labeled as bad by parents. Second is when caregivers do not distinguish between the child's behavior and his or her identity, because identity is who you are, while behavior is your reaction towards things. But in this case, parents give a wrong message to the child, like, if you have done something bad, you are a bad person. Next one is the extent to which the parenting rules are consistent. On the emotional side, consistency means purposely choosing how you're going to engage with or respond to your child and not varying with the choice over time. We already know that inconsistent parent-child interactions during development are associated with low self-esteem and depression vulnerability in adulthood. Another factor is the extent to which parents use exaggerated anger when they criticize the child, and also the degree of disappointment or anger of caregivers when the child is not meeting their expectations. If the feelings of a child are consistently ignored by his or her parents, the chance is big that he or she will become anxious and insecure. The immediate thought would be, my mother or father doesn't love me, therefore I am worthless. To some degree, negative traits can contribute to development of a strong inner critic. Temperamental qualities may enhance a person's vulnerability to intrinsic or extrinsic stresses, and in doing so contribute to the development of dysfunction. And finally, the unresolved trauma can have a huge influence on self-esteem. In my next video, I will explain which steps you can take to track down your inner critic. So if you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell before you go. But also give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to express your thoughts in the comments down below and on my Instagram and Facebook pages. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.